Starting the assembly of the frame, and I use these corner jigs. I showed how to make these in another video. There's somebody else's design. I found them online. I shared that with you. This is the first time using them. I kind of fussed with them too much, and I ended up sort of abandoning them. But over time on other projects, I got better at it, and I really like them. They don't cost you anything except a little time because you can build them with some scrap. Do you get anything out of them? Would you like to see me make more? Well, this is your call to action. Drop down in the comments section down below. Give me a comment. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And remember to subscribe. Come on over to thesmartwoodshop.com where you can find out more about us, see some of our projects, and you can also visit my store where you can purchase any of my plans to download instantly, or you can use our Amazon affiliates where you can purchase your tools for the same price they'll give you every day, but they share a little bit with us. Also, I like to clean up as I'm going. Get the glue up while it's wet, at least wipe the stuff that squeezes out, and clean it up with the chisel, you know, kind of scrape a chisel up there and then wipe the chisel. So it just helps. Not a big deal, but I like to make my job easier as I go forward. Got all the tools on one side of the bench, and since this is a light frame, it's easier just to flip the thing over rather than moving the tools around to the other side. So I'll just continue on, and I'm not sure why I didn't put the other end on. I'm probably waiting on it to cure up a little bit as I had added glue to fix up the laminations. The glue is really important on assembly. I can't say this enough. The screws are just simply permanent clamps. I really find, particularly where I end up taking things apart in these prototypes, that the glue holds better than the screws do in the mechanical fasteners. If you want the bench to be stiff, you want it to be durable, really stand up over time, you want to make sure you use a good quality wood glue. With the frame done, it's time to put the bottom on. This is the one piece that goes from end to end, edge to edge, whereas the top doesn't. So this is my opportunity to square the bench up. Obviously the frame is just put together, everything sort of parallel, everything the same distance from the end and spread apart and all. Just like framing, this is the squaring up time. I know that the bottom is the proper length and proper width. I double checked it. I double checked it for square. If you take a look, there's a clamp kind of hanging in the middle of that end spreader. That's holding a piece of plywood that spaces the end spreader and the middle spreader. I did that in from both ends, and this just keeps the middle of that interior spreader pushed right to where it needs to go. Obviously there's enough flex in there when I'm putting these screws in that it could be off a little bit. So that was what that clamp was for. I also take the time here to clean the glue up. I will use a little damp rag, and then I'll use a chisel to kind of scrape the glue away. You know, it's just the way I work, whether I'm building a house or building a cabinet. I like to do things as I go. I don't like to put things off, so I like to clean it up. I think it's easier to do it now than later. Here's another jig. This one is set up to cut the holes the right spacing in from the end as well as from the edges, and the right length and width for the hinges on top of the sawhorses. I also took the opportunity to use that same piece of plywood pattern to make the hole for the router, the router being the top of it sticking through the bottom a little bit. And also I used the same hole cut out in the middle for where the miter saw hose and cord go. Now note that this is the first time I'm building this bench from the plan, so and hence it's the prototype, it's the proving grounds for the plans. There's a lot of changes you'll see made. One of them will be this round hole that I'm cutting for the router. That's going to be changed. This was not big enough. The beauty of me building all the plans that I sell, they're real world, they're for me, and they're worked out, and I work out the bugs. And so when I finish the plans, I reflect all of the refinements. And now I'm just going to take my router and continue on looking ahead. I want things rounded over and smooth. The router fits in, it's nice and easy to get there, then try to figure that out after I've put the top on. So something you'll see me do in all of my work is I like to do things as I go. I'm making the ledger now to hold the miter saw up. This is set up both here, you see me building it, and in the plans for the Festool Capex. But it can be adjusted with a little thought, up or down, just by adjusting the height of that ledger up or down, and also the cutout in the front up or down, and then you can get it exact to fit your miter saw. Many people have made those adjustments. You can see here why I prefer the iPad over paper plans. I can zoom in with my old eyes and read things and move it around much easier than a set of paper plans. In the next video, we get to drill the 20 millimeter holes at 96 millimeter spacing with engineering precision using a very affordable tool. Give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, subscribe, and come on over to thesmartwoodshop.com. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a